Sahih al-Bukhari 1901. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, whoever established prayers on the night of Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his previous sins will be forgiven, and whoever fasts in the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith, and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his previous sins will be forgiven. Sahih al-Bukhari 1902. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet was the most generous amongst the people, and he used to be more so in the month of Ramadan when Gabriel visited him, and Gabriel used to meet him on every night of Ramadan till the end of the month. The Prophet used to recite the Holy Quran to Gabriel, and when Gabriel met him, he used to be more generous than a fast wind, which causes rain and welfare. Sahih al-Bukhari 1903. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, whoever does not give up forged speech and evil actions, Allah is not in need of his leaving his food and drink, i.e. Allah will not accept his fasting. Sahih al-Bukhari 1904. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger said, Allah said, all the deeds of Adam's sons, people, are for them, except fasting which is for me, and I will give the reward for it. Fasting is a shield or protection from the fire and from committing sins. If one of you is fasting, he should avoid sexual relation with his wife and quarreling, and if somebody should fight or quarrel with him, he should say, I am fasting. By him in whose hands my soul is, the unpleasant smell coming out from the mouth of a fasting person is better in the sight of Allah than the smell of musk. There are two pleasures for the fasting person, one at the time of breaking his fast, and the other at the time when he will meet his Lord, then he will be pleased because of his fasting. Sahih al-Bukhari 1905. Narrated Alqamah. While I was walking with Abdullah, he said, we were in the company of the Prophet, and he said, he who can afford to marry should marry, because it will help him refrain from looking at other women, and save his private parts from committing illegal sexual relation, and he who cannot afford to marry is advised to fast, as fasting will diminish his sexual power. Sahih al-Bukhari 1906. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger mentioned Ramadan and said, do not fast unless you see the crescent of Ramadan, and do not give up fasting till you see the crescent of Shawwal, but if the sky is overcast, if you cannot see it, then act on estimation, i.e. count Shaban as 30 days. Sahih al-Bukhari 1907. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger said, the month can be 29 nights, i.e. days, and do not fast till you see the moon, and if the sky is overcast, then complete Shaban as 30 days. Sahih al-Bukhari 1908. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, the month is like this and this, at the same time he showed the fingers of both his hands thrice, and left out one thumb on the third time. Sahih al-Bukhari 1909. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet, or Overcasting said, start fasting on seeing the crescent of Ramadan, and give up fasting on seeing the crescent of Shawwal, and if the sky is overcast, and you cannot see it, complete 30 days of Shaban. Sahih al-Bukhari 1910. Narrated Salama. The Prophet vowed to keep aloof from his wives for a period of 1 month, and after the completion of 29 days he went either in the morning or in the afternoon to his wives. Someone said to him, you vowed that you would not go to your wives for 1 month. He replied, the month is of 29 days.